She vowed that any man wishing to marry her must first defeat her in the wrestling ring. Otherwise, he would have to forfeit 100 war horses to her. 10 years later, she had amassed 10,000 steeds in her camp, yet she remained solitary. For across the entire steppe, not a single man could be found who was capable of unseating her. She is not a princess waiting for a prince to rescue her. She is Coutaloon, the Mongolian goddess of war who strangles the throat of destiny with her own 2 arms. The prologue of the story unfolds upon the vast, boundless Mongolian steppes. The stirring beat of war drums weaves together with ancient throat singing, recounting an immortal legend. Behind every title lies a saga of iron and blood. The night was as dark as ink, with a cold, full moon suspended in the sky. Seated upon a horse were an aged grandmother and the young Coutaloon. The grandmother and granddaughter arrived at the mountain peak, nestled together as they gazed at the bright moon on the horizon. Young Coutaloon looked at her grandmother with an expression of half-understanding, her clear eyes reflecting the stars. The grandmother raised her head, offering a devout prayer to the bright moon. No sooner had her voice faded than a divine deer quietly emerged from the distant thicket. The grandmother smiled, her eyes twinkling with the light of wisdom. Time flew by, and Coutaloon grew up surrounded by her brothers. The winter forest was blanketed in pristine white snow when they discovered a snow-white hare, which became the prize the children competed for. Several boys drew their bows and loosed their arrows, yet they missed time and again. The arrows either veered off target or were deftly dodged by the hare. Just as Dua missed yet another opportunity, a sharp arrow tore through the air, striking the running hare with precision. He interrogated his brothers one by one. Amidst their confusion, Coutaloon, draped in white fox fur, approached from the distance with a smile. Her confident smile made Dua instantly realize the truth. He stepped forward and pulled the arrow from the hare, only to discover it was actually 2 broken arrows. Dua flew into a rage born of humiliation, while Coutaloon firmly insisted that the hare was her kill. Just then, their father, the great Khan Kaidu, rode up leading a group of generals. The children knelt in unison to pay their respects. Seeing the prey in his son's hand, Kaidu laughed heartily and proudly announced, "Look at this." However, when his gaze fell upon his daughter Coutaloon, his smile faded. Kaidu's face darkened, and he lectured her in an unquestionable tone. The crowd shouted "Long live," celebrating the prince's marksmanship. Only Coutaloon stood silently to the side, her small figure appearing especially lonely amidst the boisterous crowd. Years passed, and the little girl blossomed into a graceful young woman. A ceremony concerning the succession of the Khanate was underway, and the sacred national relic, the Golden Sutra, was solemnly brought forth. The eldest son, Dua, impatiently demanded the right of succession from his father, swearing to protect the sacred relic with his life. But the other brothers disapproved, believing he shouldn't take advantage simply because he was the eldest. Watching his bickering sons, Kaidu said in a deep voice, "Age does not matter. It is the smart and brave one who will be chosen by the heavens." Just then, the silent Coutaloon spoke up. Citing the rules of the Golden Sutra, she reminded her father that he should first communicate with the nobles of the various tribes. Her foresight and wisdom eclipsed all her brothers present. However, the rope of destiny sought to bind this extraordinary princess to a mundane fate. Her mother found Coutaloon training at the archery range and brought her news of an arranged marriage. Her mother's words felt like cold shackles. Coutaloon raised her head, unyielding fire burning in her eyes. Her resounding interrogation caused her mother to call out her name in heartache, yet she was powerless to refute her. Meanwhile, a massive conspiracy was quietly approaching. Nomkon of the Great Yuan Empire, accompanied by the sorceress Surfa, was using dark magic to spy on Khan Kaidu's every move. At Coutaloon's betrothal banquet, guests filled the venue, and envoys from all sides came to offer congratulations. The atmosphere seemed harmonious, yet danger lurked in every corner. As night fell, assassins disguised as envoys quietly infiltrated the Khan's tent. A bloody assassination attempt suddenly erupted. Khan Kaidu was gravely wounded and collapsed in a pool of blood, and the Golden Sutra, symbolizing the Khanate and glory, was stolen by the enemy amidst the chaos. Namshon was smug with success. He believed that by eliminating Kaidu and seizing the Golden Sutra, he could become the new emperor of the great Yuan Empire. With the Khan critically injured and the nation leaderless, the struggle for the throne was once again brought to the table. Dua was eager to ascend the throne, believing the country could not go a day without a ruler. But his mother urged him to remain calm, while everyone argued ceaselessly, with some even suggesting Coutaloon be married off to Pamir to seek aid. Coutaloon made a shocking decision. She went to her critically wounded father's bedside and swore an oath. This Moonlight Princess decided to embark on a journey herself to reclaim the sacred relic belonging to her people. She rallied loyal warriors and set foot on the long road to retrieve the treasure. On their quest, they were ambushed by the enemy. Coutaloon and her warriors fought a bloody battle, but the enemy was exceptionally fierce. At a critical moment, a mysterious man appeared. His skills were extraordinary, and he seemed to be secretly helping them. After the intense battle, Coutaloon captured this mysterious man. She interrogated this man who seemed both friend and foe. When the man revealed his name, Abatai, Coutaloon was shocked. This was her childhood best friend, the boy who had been exiled by Minister Kashan for protecting her. Abatai recounted how, after his exile, he survived in the enemy camp and joined Kublai Khan's forces, but he had never forgotten his homeland, and he had even saved Kaidu's life during the ambush by striking his stirrups at a crucial moment. Coutaloon looked at him with a complex gaze and finally decided to give him a chance. The journey is long. Your sins will not be forgiven until the Golden Sutra is retrieved. Abatai decided to infiltrate the enemy camp alone to steal back the sacred relic for Coutaloon. Utilizing his identity, he successfully gained an audience with Nomkon. Facing Nomkon's suspicion and probing, Abatai used his wit and courage to lie, claiming he had escaped from Kaidu's grasp, thus winning temporary trust. Just then, spies reported that Kaidu's son, Dua, was approaching with a large army. A great battle was imminent. Coutaloon and her warriors infiltrated amidst the chaos, their target pointing directly to the tent of the sorceress Surfa, where the Golden Sutra was kept. However, it was a trap. Coutaloon fell into enemy hands and was tied to a wooden stake, subjected to torture.
Тэнгэрийн жигүүртэн алдалгүй харваж. Тэгвэл би чиний жигүүрийг чи хугач.
Just as her life hung by a thread, Abatai arrived in time to save the princess. Meanwhile, the traitorous minister Kashan captured Prince Dua and the others, presenting them to Nomkon. But Nomkon, knowing well that a slave who betrays his master cannot be trusted, ordered Kashan's execution. On the other side, Coutaloon's younger brother, Prince Urus, arrived with his great army and engaged Nomkon's forces in a decisive battle. Blades flashed and blood flew across the battlefield. Coutaloon, having broken free from her bonds, engaged in a final showdown with Nomkon. Nomkon spoke with frivolity, completely disregarding this female warrior. But Coutaloon used her actions to show him who the true master of the steppe was. In the heat of battle, Coutaloon proved superior in skill. She defeated Nomkon and successfully reclaimed the Golden Sutra. The princess returned in triumph, and the entire tribe seethed with excitement. At the grand celebration, everyone bowed to the sacred relic, cheering for the victory of the princess and the princes. Prince Dua demanded the execution of the traitor Abatai, but Coutaloon stepped forward to plead for him. Khan Kaidu, looking at his brave, wise, and benevolent daughter, finally accepted her request. The story's climax arrived at the highly anticipated wrestling ring. Prince Pamir from the west came to marry the princess, but Coutaloon issued a challenge. The match began, pitting the tall and strong Prince Pamir against the seemingly delicate Coutaloon. After a fierce struggle, Coutaloon relied on technique and strength to slam the prince heavily to the ground. Thunderous cheers erupted from the crowd, and Khan Kaidu laughed aloud. He stood up and announced to everyone, At the end of the film, amidst the ice and snow, Coutaloon and Abatai walked side by side. Coutaloon happily rested her head on his shoulder. In the distance, the divine deer, symbolizing guardianship and hope, appeared once again under the moonlight. Its antlers still shone with a holy radiance.